Mike Pribble had the rodeo in the area where the horse pavilion was for years and years and years. It was always over the 4th of July weekend, and it's always fun to talk to people that remember going to the outside rodeo, you know, and seeing my granddaddy, or I called him Pawpaw, seeing him trick rope and rope horses as he stood on his head as horses rode by and did all these amazing tricks and everything. And so we've had a beautiful plaque that will be unveiled on July 1st at noon at the horse pavilion. So we'll do refreshments and all that. We'd love for people to come out. It's a beautiful plaque. It has a picture of him jumping through a rope on top of Patches, his horse, plus his picture from A&M. So anyway, it's going to be a really great day, and everything's going to be wonderful. Enola Gay is actually the one that started this whole process. She, for the past several years, has wanted to do this, and she had a couple of fundraisers to raise some money for it. And so I want to thank her, because she's kind of the one that got the ball rolling, and then Charles Helm and the commissioners and Adam Tier, everybody's really been integral in doing that. But I thought it was important for the community, or other people in the community have said it's very important that we find a way to kind of memorialize what he did for the rodeo, and how important it was for our community during that time over the 4th of July weekend. So we thought it was appropriate that July 1st that we would actually do the dedication. So hopefully everybody can come out and join us.
How appropriate, for your grandpa, and an equine pavilion. That's perfect, and the location, it was almost right where the rodeo was located.
Absolutely, that's where the rodeo was. It was a big, huge steel arena, and on the plaque it says how many people it would seat, and it was just a wonderful weekend. And so the fact that they built that, for a while they had built some baseball fields out there, but then when they built the horse pavilion, it really meant a lot to my family that there was something that resembled having the rodeo there, and then now to have this in memorial for him, that everybody that walks into that horse pavilion to the equine pavilion can see. It's just very, very special to us. So we've been touched that we've been able to get that done, and we hope everybody will come out and tell stories. That's our favorite part, is listen to all the Mike Pribble rodeo stories that people tell, and we hear them all, and it's so fun. So hopefully that will, every time somebody sees that, it'll bring back memories of when they used to go to the rodeo over the 4th of July weekend.
Of course, we're right in the middle of Dairy Festival, and that was a big venue for the Dairy Festival. They'd always have some events in the arena. The Civic Center didn't come along till the late 70s. Yes,
late 70s, early 80s, and so we still had the rodeo up until, I believe it was 1981 that we had the last rodeo. And so it all correlates. I mean, the dairy industry was so important. My grandfather, raised cattle his entire life. He was on a horse. He was more comfortable on a horse, I think, than he was in a car, because that's where he spent his life, was on top of Patches. And so it's just, everything just works out as it's supposed to, and I just think it's going to be very nice that will be. It's like the pavilion's not going to be called the Mike Pribble Stadium Arena or anything, but it will have that plaque there that does remember him, and so we're excited about it. So hopefully on Wednesday, July 1st at noon at the Equine Pavilion.
Very good. Do you think we'll ever see a 4th of July rodeo again? And I've heard mention of it, and people just kind of reminiscing and thinking, wouldn't it be nice? But
Yes, well, we've talked about it, and we talked about it a lot. When I first moved to Sulphur Springs, that was my goal. I wanted to come in and put on a rodeo, produce a rodeo like my granddad had. But Donna Battles was here at the time, and then the PBR came in and things like that. So it just didn't really work. And then whenever they started to move the membership rodeo from March, they really asked me and Mom if we would be willing to maybe move it to the 4th of July weekend and all that. But nowadays, because there's so many rodeos, there's so many venues, to put on a rodeo over the 4th of July weekend at that time period would be very difficult to get cowboys here. And that's what it's all about as far as scheduling a rodeo, is scheduling it so that if it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday rodeo, that they can hit Mesquite one day, they can hit Athens one day, they can go up to Southern Oklahoma and hit a rodeo and hit the Sulphur Springs rodeo. And 4th of July, there's just so many big rodeos around that it would be difficult to pull cowboys, I think. So they moved it to the latter part of May, which I think was very successful for the membership rodeo. And so maybe we'll just have to go to that one and remember the outdoor days.